Hi everyone, you're watching Tamit Saleh's Tennis Forum and welcome to a very special episode today where I'm not alone, I have a guest and that is The Slice. Mr. Stephen Boughton's going to be here with us today and we will be discussing quite a few things. As always, please do share your comments, enjoy the video and let's try and get to 200 thumbs up. I think that would be an amazing target. You guys have been responding so well recently with the thumbs up, and that's what's really pushed on and helped other viewers come into the channel, and the subscribers are just going through the roof. I hope you've been enjoying the French Open. The week one is almost wrapped up now, but yeah, without further ado, I'm going to crack on with the rest of the video, and yeah, we're gonna have The Slice with us.
The next point I wanted to get to, Stephen, and you touched on it a little bit, but that's fine, is just looking at the draws now and just a quick snapshot towards the final. So we had a few shocks already. So like Medvedev losing in the first round for what is it, the fourth time in a row now at the French Open. And then Stan losing earlier today, which was, after watching Stan the first couple of rounds, especially against, I watched the whole match against Andy. I expected big things, and I was really looking forward to that Stan versus Dominic Thiem match. And honestly, maybe a couple of days ago, I wouldn't have put my mind on either of them because I thought Stan was playing good stuff, and I thought he would get better as he went on. But massive shock. But yeah, we have the draw, the rest of the draw, and I saw your Instagram story about the quarter of opportunity, which is the second quarter, I believe. And then just looking at some of the names, Fucsovics, Rublev, Dimitrov, Tsitsipas are probably the four that stick out there. One of them playing in the semi-final. Who do you think watching it? Because Tsitsipas has already been taken to 5. Rublev's been taken to 5 already. But for me, they're probably the two strongest in that quarter. But they've been taken to 5. So just your thoughts on who you think's gonna reach that semi from that quarter?
Yeah, I'm looking at that quarter right now, and I did see that as like the quarter of opportunity, even when the draw first came out. Obviously, just because one of the big guys isn't in that quarter, right? So it's kind of the obvious one. But even looking at it now, like I think Tsitsipas has played extremely well. I think he's only played 2 matches so far. So right, because his third one would be tomorrow, right? And then I think that the level that he's produced since going down 2 sets to love there, I think it might have been the highest that I've seen all tournament from anyone. Dominic Thiem's played great. Djokovic has played great. Nadal has also played great. But I think Tsitsipas, he just really stepped up. And I was like, these temperatures could almost also help him because he moves so good. He's so wide, like he has such a big range that it's hard to like move him off the court a lot or move him around. So I think he's dangerous. He would be my number one expectation to come out of that quarter. Rublev could be there, but I haven't seen him get super deep in a slam before, right? So he could lose to Kevin Anderson, but if he wins that, he should definitely win the next round after that. So I see a Tsitsipas Rublev quarterfinal happening, and that would be a really good match, obviously. But seeing either of those guys in the semifinal, I think would be great for their careers for sure, because both of them would have a pretty good chance. Not a great chance, obviously, but like, if they beat Djokovic, it wouldn't be like mind blowing. You know what I mean? They'd be like, wow, this guy really stepped up. Like, it wouldn't be a massive choke from Djokovic. It would be obviously an underdog, but they're 2 guys who have been knocking at the door for a while. And I think hopefully one of them can make a run here.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I've been watching Rublev for a while now. I think he's won something like 3 tournaments already this year. Yeah, and yeah, I think so. Rublev and Tsitsipas played the Hamburg final last week, and they both came to the French Open, and they lost, and it was taken to 5 sets. So maybe some fatigue there, but I'm sure. Like I really want that quarterfinal to happen. I think that's probably the most likely. However, with this French Open, I think it's been quite unpredictable so far. And just to quickly look at Novak's quarter, I'm looking at the names. I personally can't see anyone stopping him until the semi-finals. Maybe Gary is on form, or like Berrettini perhaps, but safe to say he's going to reach the semis at least.
Pretty safe to say. I think if we're just being honest,
unless he hits lineswoman again.
Unless there's any lineswomen or he gets pissed off in any ways. But I think Christian Garin, if he beats Khachanov, could be a pretty good test for him as far as level goes. He's a really good clay court player. I think he won a tournament earlier this year on clay in South America. And I think Carreno Busta, I think would be harder on clay. or Berrettini. If Berrettini got really hot, which is firing missiles, he could be dangerous. But again, yeah, Djokovic is the clear favorite in this quarter to make it to the semifinals. But anything can happen, honestly. If there was going to be an upset, it would be on clay, right? Like I think this is Djokovic's least favorite surface. And I was just reminded watching Cecchinato today about when Cecchinato beat Djokovic in 2018. It's not like Djokovic was playing bad tennis at that moment, right? He won Wimbledon 3 weeks later, and he wasn't injured or anything. It's just he straight up got beat by a clay court specialist. So if Christian Garin or someone like that, or Carreño Busta is technically the only player who's beaten him this year, I think it technically goes down as a win.
That would be a very interesting match if Carreño Busta played Novak again.
Right, and I don't like Carreño Busta. Like I don't think he's a weird guy. I think, but
throwing his racket back and everything.
Smash just creeps me out. Like it's like, how are you that mad? Like I kind of get it. Maybe but I think Djokovic is definitely the clear favorite in this quarter. Obviously, he's arguably the favorite in the tournament. But yeah, there's some tests out there. Christian, like his next match, Garin or Khachanov, will be a test for him.
I agree with you pretty much. And the other half of the draw, so we're already into the fourth round for this half. Rafa versus Korda, who I believe is not even in the top 200. So,
no.
He's played four very, I don't want to be disrespectful, but not the greatest of opponents, especially in a Grand Slam. I mean, you asked it in your Instagram or your last video. Do you think this, Rafa playing the weak opponents, is it going to affect him later on in the tournament? Because he might be beating Korda and then say a Zverev or a Sinner. That match I'm really looking forward to. If Zverev goes into that quarter and if he's firing hot, then he can beat Rafa. But I'm more on the side that he probably won't, and it could be quite a simple match for Rafa. Same with Sinner. If Sinner goes through, he might feel that pressure and just explode. So he could essentially reach Thiem in the semis a bit undercooked. So yeah, do you think maybe it could affect him?
Yeah, that's a good term, undercooked. I think so far in the tournament, he's definitely a little bit undercooked. I mean, in the first round, Gerasimov actually was hitting some pretty heavy balls. And Rafa, I don't know if he handled it that great. He kind of looked a bit slow there. He obviously won a straight set, so it's fine. It's more, as anyone who follows Rafa or cheers for Rafa knows, it's more about his level than obviously he's going to win these matches. But it's more about how he's doing it. But yeah, so far, and including the next match, if you take the first 4 rounds of Roland Garros for Rafa, if Rafa went off and played a clay court challenger tournament in Italy or something right now, he could have the same draw, technically. These are all challenger players. No disrespect, challenger players are amazing, but Rafa, it's the fact. So I think there's a different ball when you're playing somebody like Zverev, even though, any of these guys could beat Zverev. If Zverev can get through Sinner and play Rafa, Rafa, again, could easily just crush him in 3 sets. Or it could be, if he's undercooked for that match and Zverev gets confident because the last time they play, he beat him. He knows what it feels like. Yep. He has that belief. It could be dangerous. And then, if Rafa gets super worn down in a match versus Zverev and then he meets Thiem and then he has to play Djokovic, it's like you don't like those things. So I'm on the side that it helps him because he's not tired out, but it might hurt him a little bit because the level isn't there. But again, there's no perfect way to prepare for any of these matches. And if anyone can figure out how to problem solve in the moment, it's going to be Nadal on clay. So yeah, you got to back Nadal, like I've been saying all tournament, to figure it out. But yeah, it'll be interesting when he plays. Even Sinner could be tough because he's just good. He's really good.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much brilliantly said there, Stephen. And the last point on the draw is we've got Thiem versus Gaston, who defeated Stan. And then on that, we've got Sonego, another Italian coming through, versus Diego Schwartzman. And Schwartzman is another one of the players alongside let's say the top 3 that have won every match in straight sets. So he's not lost a set yet. He, of course, did really well in Rome last week, where he beat Rafa and lost in the final to Novak. So, Thiem Schwartzman, your thoughts on that? I think that could be quite a tasty one.
That would be a super tasty match. I would take Thiem. I think he's looking really good this tournament. He's kind of his comments after his matches have been interesting to me because he doesn't sound that. He sounds very level-headed. I don't know. He's acting like the tiredness from the U.S. Open hasn't really caught up with him yet.
I'm going to be surprised by that, actually. I thought I was actually in the thing that Thiem might crash out early here. but he's been playing some amazing stuff.
Oh well, he has the hardest draw for sure.
Yeah,
But
100%.
And he's played 3 guys. So to Nadal, who's played 4 challengers so far, he's played 3 guys or 2 guys so far. He's only played 2 matches, I guess. No, he played 3. He's played 3 guys who have been seeded. I mean, Casper Ruud is seeded, but Cilic is a Grand Slam winner. Not the best on clay, obviously. And then I forget who did. Oh, and then Team Song, who is obviously historically been a pretty good player. So he's had some good tests and he's answered them great. I don't think he's dropped a set, maybe 1 set against Sock. So I think with the slow conditions, he's going to be the favorite versus Diego Schwartzman, but Schwartzman could mess with him for sure by getting everything back. But there's nobody who hits a bigger ball on the surface right now than Dominic Thiem does. So I think he'd be able to get it done. Nadal didn't play his greatest match against Schwartzman in Rome. He was a bit rusty, and Schwartzman played great. So I'd still take Thiem, but I think those are definitely the 2 guys who are probably going to come through.
Yeah, I agree once again. I think Novak, Rafa, and Dominic are playing at a very similar high standard, and it's very hard to pick between them. So that semi between Dominic and Rafa could be crucial because I feel like if it goes to 5, then Novak's probably the favorite in the final against whoever. However, if either Rafa or Dominic, most probably Rafa, winning straight sets, then the confidence boost they will get from that they will put them as a big favorite in the final for me, because Novak's not going to get that test in the semi this year, which it could work both ways.
Totally, it could, unless I don't know. I feel sneaky just from the level I saw with Tsitsipas. Djokovic fans are out there being like, "You hope Tsitsipas is going to get to the semifinals so he can beat Djokovic." I love Tsitsipas, so yeah, I do. But I also feel like he could get to the semifinals and pose a pretty big threat to Djokovic. So Djokovic might get that nice 4 or 5 setter in the semifinal against Tsitsipas and win, and then have this confidence coming in. So I think you never know what's going to happen. Literally, we weren't talking, but I was thinking in the U.S. Open at this time, I was like, this is the guaranteed Djokovic win tournament. And like, you just never know what's going to happen. That's why we watch each match, and that's why it's so exciting to cover it, right? Because I think one of the 3, Nadal, Djokovic, or Thiem will definitely win this title, but Zverev could come in and beat all 3 of those guys somehow, and you never know. So that's why we watch.
Yeah, 100%. So that's the draw. I think we'll just discuss a couple more interesting points. So one of them, which I really didn't like, was from Mr. Mats Wilander. It might be Wilander, I don't know how it's pronounced, but essentially the comments he made on Andy Murray. So Murray, he lost in straight sets against Stan. It was the very hyped round 1 match, and it really did not live up to its billing. He got destroyed. Stan just absolutely destroyed him. And what Mats was saying was, it's quite selfish of Andy to just keep accepting these wild cards into tournaments, and he should give the opportunity to other young upcoming players. Now, players like Nick Kyrgios and Chris Evert have come out and said that they've disagreed, and I feel like Stan put an Instagram post because of this comment as well, about after the match with Andy. So in my opinion, that's outrageous for me, because Andy, he's deserved that right, and I don't think by any means he's washed up, because literally a year ago he beat Stan in the final of Antwerp. So he's clearly there is something there. Maybe clay has never been Andy's favorite surface. So just for you, your thoughts. Is Murray washed up? Was Wilander right to say that? Just some thoughts, Stephen.
Yeah, no, I think Wilander was totally off his rocker saying that. I can understand why he thinks that, because he might think that Andy Murray's washed up, or it's like there's no chance that he's gonna get there. But yeah, it's ridiculous to say that, because we're not talking about just some guy who's been good in the past. Like, Andy Murray is one of the all-time greats in tennis. Well, he will forever be. Like, if it wasn't for Djokovic and Federer and Nadal, he would have won so many more slams. And he's been a world number 1 recently. And the only reason he's not at that level still is because he had a terrible injury. So he's deserved the right to unlimited wild cards. These young kids will always get another chance at it, and no one should be relying on wild cards. So if you're a young kid and you don't want to just need wild cards to get into slams, go win futures, win challengers, and you'll just get main draw entry and get onto the ATP. there's the hard way to do it. Murray's already done that hard way, and he's proven that he puts butts in seats, and that's what tournaments want to see. So yeah, you can't argue with that. And well, you could, but you'd be wrong. And Mats Wilander is totally wrong, I think, in saying what he said. But that's his opinion, so he's entitled to it.
Yeah, fair enough. And just remembering as well, Andy beat Sasha Zverev in Cincinnati less than a month ago as well. So
that's right. Yeah,
literally just before the US Open. So for me, that I completely disagree with that. And yeah, like you said, he sells the tickets. You know, people love Andy. He's a very loved player. And I think without the big three, I'm quite confident that Murray would have probably got to maybe double digits if none of the big three were there. Slam-wise.
He's been in more than double-digit finals, I think, right? Like
and he's pretty much always had to face the big three. So I think maybe the only final he didn't was Raonic for my memory. Your countryman. And the last point, Stephen, is we've had a couple of incidents where umpiring calls or things like that have come into play. So we had one earlier on with Chapo, where it was 30-all. Chapo was serving for the match, and a ball was called in when the Hawkeye showed he was out.
Right.
And then obviously he went on to lose that match. But the one for me that was really quite bad was I was watching the WTA. It was a match, forgive my pronunciation, between Mladenovic and Sigmund, where Mladenovic was 5-1 up, advantage, so set point, and the ball bounced twice on Sigmund's side. However, Sigmund still scooped it up, and it went unnoticed from the umpire. And Sigmund was given the point, whereas it should have been the set to Mladenovic there at 6-1. Then Sigmund came all the way back, won that set, and ended up winning the match. So we saw the highlights within 5 seconds of it happening. So for me, I just think a bit more technology. I mean, we've had it with football with the VAR system. Maybe a bit more technology should be added to tennis. But then does that, take away from the whole human side? Just your thoughts on maybe more technology in tennis?
Yeah, I think there's no, like, I've never understood that umpires can't watch replays, especially in tennis. Like, obviously when it's a line call, a replay is not going to help you much because with a video, it's basically, you can't really tell when it's close. But with something like that, like you watch the video, it's obvious. Like we all saw it. It's obvious that it bounced twice. It should have been Mladenovic's, I think that's how you say her name, I'm not sure. It should have been her point, and she probably would have won the match because that was match point, wasn't it?
It was set point, first set. But it would have been 6-1. So you'd think that would get her through.
Yeah, so I guess she wouldn't have won the match but it's just, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like maybe each player could have like one video challenge, a match or something like that, that they could just throw in. I remember the same thing happened to Federer. It was way less obvious though. It was kind of like Berdych got under the ball and hit the ground at the same time. It was close.
He used his physics knowledge to know it happened, right?
It was like force. There's no possible chance to get under the ball, which also makes sense. But that one, I was like, I didn't really care because it's like so hard to prove. Like, but this one's just obvious. Like, so it's a shame. I've heard though that with the Hawkeye, it's not accurate enough to actually provide a good reading on the clay. So I think either what it should be. They should not have Hawkeye and just do it with the calls, but then they should never show the Hawkeye afterwards, like on TV to the fans. Because then that just throws the umpire under the bus completely because he's just doing the best he can. He's not allowed to look at the Hawkeye, and then they show actually that was in. And it's like there's just that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the player because Chapo sees that and he's pissed. If he didn't see that, he just would have been like, oh, that was a bad call. But that Hawkeye might not even be right. It actually might have been on the line.
I hadn't even thought of that actually, but I completely agree with you. If you're not going to use it, then don't show anyone. Because
if you're not going to use it, don't show it. If you're going to use it, then let's use it and just accept it.
Yeah.
Because I think even on the hard courts, there's still a margin of error. It's like 1 millimeter or something, or half or 0.4 millimeter. And I know Federer does not trust it, and he never has, and he never will. Especially on grass. The grass one doesn't make any sense. Like there's no way it's that accurate on grass.
Yeah. I mean, it's not accurate, but and I feel like that's another reason why clay tournaments or the French Open doesn't want to bring it in, because they feel the human vision of the ball's marking is more accurate than the Hawkeye system.
But I play on clay right now, and it's honestly sometimes basically impossible to tell. So you see players out there arguing with the umpire. They're like, no, look, it's touching right here. Like, and they're both looking at it and they're arguing about what they're seeing, which is I don't know the solution for it. I don't know if there is one.
Yeah, true. But the point you made about the video technology, and maybe having it like the Hawkeye, where you only get one challenge. Because look, these things don't happen often, so it's not like it's going to be slowing down the game so much and things like that. But yeah, 100%. That's a very good point. Actually, you should write up to the, or is it the ATP or the PTPA and all these different organizations we've got popping up now.
PTPA, yeah, the PTPA. We'll see if that comes into more prominence. But yeah, no, if you're not going to use it, I don't know why they show it. It seems counterproductive.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Actually, I've just seen the time. It has gone over for half an hour. The plan was around 10 to 15 minutes, but
all good. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, kudos to you. I feel like it could have been longer as well, but this was honestly, thank you once again for jumping on this with me. Once again, like I've said before, the Slice has been inspiration of mine to start doing tennis videos, and yeah, I just love the content. So keep it going, and I hope you get that 10,000 soon as well. Any final words, Stephen?
No, man, I just appreciate it, Tamid. Like, I want you to keep doing your thing as well, because it's great content. All of Tamid's followers, like, keep getting around to stuff. It's awesome. I'm sure hopefully down the road one day, our platforms will grow enough to where we can be, some of the main media in tennis. Like, that's my goal, and I think that can definitely happen. Yeah, good luck with your all the things you're doing. You live in England, is that right?
Yeah, London, yeah.
London, yeah. Good luck with I don't know if it's public, but the academy and stuff. But like, good luck with all that. And yeah, thanks for having me on. And we'll definitely give you a mention on the Slice for sure, and maybe we'll have you on the podcast at some other time. So appreciate it, my man.
I appreciate you, Stephen. And yeah, once again, I really enjoyed having the chat, and thank you very much. And yeah, I'll just wrap up the video here. Sorry, Stephen. But thank you everyone for watching. Please do leave your comments. Check out Stephen's channel, will be in the description. And I'll let you say the final word, Stephen.
Sweet. Well, let's go. It's a great French Open. It's getting more exciting by the day, and I'm excited to. I'm at this time obviously as a Federer fan. I'm out of the closet Federer fan. I want to see some more teams stepped up to the U.S. Open. I would love to see him or another young guy step up at the French Open and get it done. But we'll see.